Oi, welcome to the Not So Transcend podcast featuring the.
Brian McRoundTable.
You know what it is. But since it's a round table and it goes in a circle, it's making a comeback featuring Jose Mourinho. Comeback in the Premier League featuring Tottenham Hotspurs.
Shout out.
Boom.
Boss. That was one of the most shocking nights in of football this season, and it didn't have anything to do with the pitch.
Yes. Crazy.
It was like, I'm seeing videos up in the afternoon on like, reporters like talking about Poch getting sacked and it's imminent. And I'm like, And I tweet this out and I'm like, yo, is this guy really going to get the sack? And people are like, no way he's getting the sack. Dude, didn't this man get the sack?
Yeah.
And it's like, who's going to come and replace him? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be Allegri? We all know who it's going to be.
Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho.
Shout out
Jose Mourinho.
Shout out to Mourinho for making a comeback. It's nice to see him. Him getting that job as a pundit really did his reputation wonders. People loved him.
Yeah.
And
I think this is no disrespect to him as a manager at all.
Yeah.
But I would love him to just be a pundit because he's just such a good pundit.
yeah, he's
Because when there's people like Henri, Gary, Neville,
Yeah.
those guys are
Michael
speaking,
Owen.
you're like, oh wait, I think it makes sense. But
yeah.
Yeah.
but then when
Where was he
Mourinho
working?
says some stuff,
Where was he working? Sky. Mourinho.
Everywhere, wasn't he?
I think he was on Sky, but
I think the manager. It was like,
Do you remember they asked
What do
him,
you think?
what do you think about Tottenham? Do you guys remember that
yeah.
one?
What do you think, Mo? Tell
What do you
me.
think? And he's like, no, I respect the manager, I won't say anything. Shout out.
because he knew. But also, back in 2015, I'll never take the Tottenham job. I love Chelsea fans too much.
If you love Chelsea fans that much,
Guess
he's not
not.
going to take the United job.
Yeah, so as I'm saying, he proved that he
Yeah.
didn't that much.
No, but it was just hits of the moment.
Dog.
Words. You say those things when you're mad. You get what I'm saying? He does love us a lot. But that's besides the point. My question for you guys, what?
You think he has love?
He has love. in
Man
his
worked
heart,
for
bro.
Barcelona, then worked for Madrid.
Yeah,
worked for
bro,
Chelsea,
come on.
then
He had
worked
to work. Come on. He worked with Robson.
Yeah, sir.
Sir Robson. You understand? Are you going to reject that? But that's besides the point. My point before we go to Mourinho is, do you guys think that Tottenham, Mr. Levy, did Poch right?
No, not at all.
I think it was the right decision to let him go. Not because Pochettino wasn't great, but because he'd overstayed.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't feel like it was going in a positive direction anymore. Same with the senior players. They all feel like they've been there too long. It's unfortunate that Harry Kane is still young, so they might want to hold on to him longer. Unfortunately, in the sense that they have to let him go when they feel like they could keep him.
Yeah.
You could still try to be like, okay, Harry, chill. We're gonna get rid of these guys and bring in new people, but someone had to leave. Are you gonna let go of 6 senior players, or are you gonna let go of Pochettino and replace him with Mourinho? It just made sense to me.
Can I say my piece on that, right?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like the environment definitely got toxic from all areas,
Yeah.
right? Even the fans started feeling it, and Tottenham fans aren't the most
Yeah.
of the bunch, But I think that the fault still lies with Levy and the board, because the whole reason was, as far as what I read, was that Mauricio felt like, yo, I want to expand my squad and really like invest in this stuff. Because like they just reached the final, right? And they made no investments. So he was like, yo, I want to invest in this thing so we can actually challenge, right? And then Levy was like, no, we don't need to do that. So I feel like Poch felt like his ambitions weren't being met. And then because of that, the
They
players
did
also-
make their record signing. They got Lo Celso on loan, who is probably going to be signed, or was probably going to be signed permanently at the end of the season. They got Ryan Sessegnon.
And these weren't cheap acquisitions. I think in terms of investment, the first time these guys had invested in a great stadium, they had a squad that wasn't the best, but it was strong enough to compete. And probably the strongest Spurs squad.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to say ever because I wasn't there, but of our lifetimes,
Yeah.
definitely. And this is coming from a chairman who's been frugal as hell. He didn't fork out big money to make it happen. Credit to Pochettino for allowing it to happen, because a lot of other managers were not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But then he's made these investments off the pitch, on the pitch. They're in the Champions League final, and they give Pochettino money to make new signings.
Yeah.
I think there's not more he could have done.
I think they did do Pochettino wrong, but in the long term, or short term at least for Tottenham, this is a beneficial decision. Understand? But then in the long run for Pochettino as well, he can go somewhere bigger.
Yeah,
in Tottenham.
It's a perfect.
He can go to a
great.
club where they have bigger stadium, bigger history.
Well, not a bigger stadium anymore, really.
Yeah, it just has to be because that stadium.
Santiago Bernabeu.
Okay,
Allianz Arena.
now we're talking.
Old Trafford. So he can go to a club which has history and
Mourinho said he's gone to Tottenham for their great heritage.
heritage. I know what he was saying.
No, he was in the heritage that Pochettino.
The last 5 years.
He's just following the script of I signed for someone new.
Yeah.
This is the script to
been
say.
So I think in the
Win
long run,
trophies.
this is better for Pochettino, because his track record. Come on, I don't know. What did he start? Malaga, Real Sociedad,
Espanyol.
Espanyol.
I don't know where he was before.
Yeah,
I
but
just know from
understand.
Espanyol going.
Southampton,
Yeah.
Tottenham, and what he did in the past 5 years. Phenomenal with what he had.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah,
five.
Southampton.
Including, yeah,
You understand?
Crazy, yeah.
Crazy stuff. So now, obviously, this is good. He has a good track record. Can work with better players, or
Exactly.
better squad, or presidents or chairmen that are.
Willing to back him more.
You understand? So
We'll see if how long he stays out of a job. If he stays long enough for Guardiola to leave City.
that could be a thing, that could be a thing. Who knows, though?
Because I feel like any club would take him as their manager either now, or if they lose their manager, he might be first choice.
Yeah.
So Liverpool would never take him now over Klopp. But if Klopp is like, okay, I've done my contract, I'm gonna take a 5-year break and do some punditry, do some of this, then everyone's gonna be like, Pochettino.
Yeah,
My question would be, right, now that Poch is gone, and Mourinho, we can all agree, he lost it a bit at United and even at Chelsea.
You guys
know
are
what I'm
toxic.
saying? You guys were also toxic.
No.
But
he's toxic also.
he is toxic in himself, right? So it was never a good environment, right? What I'm saying is, at what point, what is the purpose of Poch leaving to go to a bigger club? I don't think there are many better squads in football than Tottenham, right? And I think that if Mourinho's coming, then they're going to have to pay anyway. They're going to have to invest, right? You saw the list of the managers who spent the most money. You're not going to
He's
bring Jose
top of
Mourinho
my
in and
island.
then tell him, listen, you can't spend it all. He's not the
Yeah,
guy.
that's true. But
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Because Mourinho has clearly evolved a bit because recently he's I respect the jobs that he's taken and attempted to make work.
Yeah.
So
I think
this is
he's
another
smart
one.
in that. I think he's smart because he knows that's what's going to differentiate him from Pep.
Yeah, because like now you hear he's coming out saying that Tottenham have a great youth academy.
It's really.
Does Mourinho say those things?
But
Mourinho's working with a guy who's known to not take
Spend
out
money
the cash.
at all.
So we don't know. Maybe the guy might change and take out the cash. Maybe Mourinho might change.
Yeah, because
and,
Bayern was
we
an
don't know.
option.
Yeah.
We think at least we're not there.
I think Bayern rejected Mourinho.
You think Bayern rejected Mourinho
Yeah,
based on his pitch?
I think Bayern
Because-
Madrid rejected Mourinho.
Because of how much control he wanted.
Yeah.
It could be something like that. I just know
I think
it
it's
didn't work
like-
out. But my issue is with Mourinho, right? I think we also don't give him enough credit.
I
Mourinho.
give him all the credit.
No. I'm not talking about him just as a manager in general.
I'm just talking about.
Mourinho
Mourinho credit.
came from a Porto side that he built on
Yeah.
scouting, proper scouting, and getting good players on the cheap. And then
Yeah, he did Leicester in the Champions League.
Yeah, he did a Leicester in the Champions League.
No, Leicester
then-
did a Porto in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Let's respect
Mourinho.
Porto. Then Mourinho went to Chelsea, which at the time was the richest club in the world, with a rich billionaire who's just
I will buy
open
you
checkbooks,
anything.
whatever. And then from there he went where?
And don't forget that
He
squad.
went more money in Italy. Then he went to more money in Spain. So I think it's not that Mourinho is a guy who needs to spend money to succeed. I think he's just been
Privileged.
he's been very
Okay, I
privileged.
see.
I think he can do a job wherever. Because a midfield
Yeah,
of
definitely.
Ndombele, Sissoko, and Eric Dyer sounds like
And
success.
we
to me
forget
with Mourinho.
Wanyama is still there.
Yeah,
Ah,
He can turn Wanyama into a player.
Mourinho.
Yeah, that's why I think Eric Dyer's going to end up in centre back, just to accommodate all these combatant type
Oh,
midfielders.
the block.
So I don't think
Kenyan
Mourinho
Concrete is
gonna
back.
leave it to
I agree now. I
Yeah.
agree. Especially with the Inter thing. Because
Yeah.
at Inter,
Yeah.
it's not like he was
Cambiaso.
doing the best. Yeah, but
didn't
he
spend-
wasn't. Yeah. It's not like he was getting the best from everywhere. You know, it wasn't Madrid Galactico.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, I
And
agree.
also Mourinho's track record with youngsters, he gives young players
He gives them a chance.
It's
I don't
not
know
as
why
much as
people-
Pochettino, for example.
Yeah.
He does give them a chance, but it's not as much as people would like him to because other managers do more.
Yeah.
And he's worked at all of the best clubs, which in general means you get the best youngsters.
Yeah.
You're able to get the best youngsters, but it's not something he does quite as much as some do.
And also, I think the other reason for that is because he's worked a lot with experienced players, and he trusts them. He wants to trust them more rather than just like, okay, this kid, you know. And then it takes a lot for you to. Yes, he's worked with a lot of special players, but it takes a lot for those young talents to come through. And
He's never worked with a Phil Foden. Though.
Yeah.
And I will say when they
give
show
him
him what he's looking for, he won't hesitate. He did it with McTominay, and even like to an extent, I know Lingard isn't a kid, but you know he did like put Lingard and say, listen, this is what I want from you. And when Lingard did that, even though he's not the best,
I mean,
player,
Lingard still in his career sort of still is a kid.
Yeah,
because
in
he's
his
never broken
professional-
through properly. He's never really got going.
yeah, he's done now. Eh?
So it's a bit weird. So what Mourinho did with him was impressive.
It is, and he knows like when the player is right and ready, it clicks for him.
so my next question is: speaking of clicking, do you guys think this is the formula for Tottenham now to click? And with Mourinho coming in, what do you guys think this means for Tottenham going forward?
Can I start? I think we had. Yes, I can. May I? I think we had the question right on a podcast earlier in the year, and it was like, what can Tottenham do? And none of us even like had the idea to say replace the coach. I don't think that it was in any of our brains. Can we all agree?
I'm gonna say I had my agenda against Pochettino from the
He
end
did
of
the end of last season. I remember.
Yeah.
He
I had
kept
it.
on-
Yeah.
So I didn't want to suggest it because it's like who are they going to replace him with?
Yeah.
But
Because who really thought Mourinho was going to go to Tottenham?
That's
Yeah.
true. It happened like this.
yeah, well,
He
it was
looks
happening.
it looks so wrong with him in that Tottenham training coat. It's like this is incorrect. No,
I like it.
He looks good in purple.
Yeah,
he looks good, but it's wrong.
Gosh, that man.
It's not as regal as you know it would seem. It's not a very classic kid. It's not him like in
not
Bayern
him.
red. Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you. Or like Real Madrid white, you know. But
Yeah,
he does. He looks comfortable. Yeah. I just wanted to finish it off by saying like, if anything, now that we know this and we know that Mourinho's there, I do think that Tottenham can win the Champions League. I think that they're favourites, honestly, based off of the fact that not only because you did it last year, but yeah, I think I'm calling it out. Tottenham,
same.
Mourinho is a tournament specialist,
Same.
and he
Trophies.
knows, bro.
I think
That's
trophies,
what
but
I-
I don't know if it means Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup the next year, or Carabao Cup 1 year of the 3 that he's there.
So
He is
I'm
so
saying
hungry.
I'm going to agree with you, no? Because with Pochettino, he gave himself a 5-year plan, as I said earlier on. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this is the plan. They did everything,
But still,
proper things, but no trophy.
But he did say also in like his 3rd or 4th year that this is more of a long-term thing, not just 5 years. He said something like 10 years.
Because he
But
did extend his contract last year.
yeah,
So, but I'm just saying, within the 5-year plan for a manager,
yeah.
you know, because come on, they extended the stadium. So now this man is thinking, now look, if we extend our stadium, build a new stadium, sorry, we're a big club now, you know? Tottenham were like a big club, but now, like, we have to stamp it like big. We have to be in the history books now, you know, like replace Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, all those guys. But no trophy.
Yeah.
We need a guy
Status,
who knows how to get trophies.
Yeah.
You know, because
And
they've done everything.
then sadly it is going to be, no one's going to remember where Pochettino took Tottenham from and to.
Yeah.
It's just going to be Mourinho won Tottenham's first whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree. I think that the way that we hold like some mad, you know what I'm saying, United fans, no. I think that in the same way Tottenham fans, as they build their history, will know that Poch was our guy. And on the same token, if you remember again in that podcast that we had earlier, Spoo said what I think it was you, Tottenham are missing our winners. You know what I'm saying? We just said on the pitch, and they have the winner.
Yeah,
I said
that's
it.
also another one. They didn't have a winner
And
as
now
the
they have
manager.
the guy.
I feel like we are definitely going to forget Pochettino as a Spurs manager. I'm being
That's
honest
true.
because
Especially if
He goes and does.
if he goes and does something somewhere else,
Yeah.
and if Mourinho does good here, then it's going to be like,
yeah, you know, people don't remember Harry Redknapp at Spurs.
he got them to the Champions League,
Yeah.
their first in however
Yeah.
many years.
I think ever. I don't know. And he took them
Yeah,
to
maybe
the Champions League. And no one remembers that Gareth Bale was destroying Inter Milan because Harry Redknapp allowed it to happen. We forget that it's like Pochettino's the one who did it, who took them from nothingness to where they are now. But he actually found them at a decent place. The AVB thing failed. It's not like it just went straight from Harry. It was just like you know,
Yeah.
a little rocky.
Yeah.
But still,
It's a sound title.
so yeah. Now
And they paid 30 mil for that guy, right?
Yeah.
they did spend.
He was one of the most expensive signings until before this summer.
Madrid graduates really cost a lot. But bruh, so if Mourinho succeeds, we're going to forget. It's like that's how it happens. Gerard Houllier qualifies for the Champions League, but it's not a good season. He gets sacked. Rafa Benitez comes and wins the Champions League. You heap all the praise on him, and you don't praise the guy who
Made it possible.
Yeah. So if Mourinho succeeds, I hope Pochettino. Best thing about this whole Pochettino is it doesn't ruin his reputation at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Anyone would still take Pochettino?
Him getting sacked actually just made people realize how great he is because everyone is talking about him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get whatever job. He's not
because
gonna go
now-
to Everton.
Yeah.
I'm only saying this because I saw Everton fans, you know, convincing themselves they could get him. Like, yeah, now that he's available, let's get him. It's like, now he's a big manager.
He's not taking a downgrade like that.
Yeah, he's a big manager. He's only going up. So it's a win-win.
Well, the thing is, Pochettino hasn't had the success yet, so he hasn't. Mourinho is feeling like, what's the point of going back to Chelsea for a third time? What's the point of going to Real Madrid? I think he wants more of a challenge now and more of a, even more of a reputation lifter.
And don't forget, Mourinho tried signing a lot of these players.
Yeah.
From different clubs.
Bro,
When he said that,
Eric Dyer is doo-doo, but Mourinho wanted him. He saw something.
So we'll see Eric Dyer,
Yeah.
Fantasy League.
My only issue is that club played a certain way for the better part of the last decade, and now they're going to have to play.
Yeah.
Mourinho.
Yeah.
We'll
Mourinho.
see how it goes for them, how the fans get behind it. But I mean, if you're a Tottenham fan, you have to love it because you just keep. It feels like you keep upgrading.
I've seen responses, and they've been very negative.
Yeah. That's weird. Most people. Okay, I guess it's not weird because of what he's done, and it's a bit. But it's hard to complain.
Yeah,
But we'll see how he does.
You know what I've seen also is like Tottenham fans, because I heard there was one guy who was crying on the radio, something. Like literally like, oh my goodness. But everybody else where he's managed, like for the most part, Chelsea fans and United fans, like you saw when he came back to us when he was a pundit, people were like reaching for him, like trying to greet him. Our fans, United fans. You know, that's like how highly we hold this guy, even though he failed, you know? But your fans, our fans, still hold him in that we're excited more than
one project.
you fired him twice.
Once.
Yeah.
Okay. He was great. Both times for
No,
his
no, no,
group.
no.
It was
But
amazing. It was all
you
successful.
know, Mourinho is not the most wholesome guy. I mean, maybe now that he's taken a break,
He's gone, on holiday.
Yeah.
Just relaxed a
he's
little
got the
bit.
stress out. Maybe he's less toxic. So sometimes it's not even an issue of he failed. It's just an issue of yo.
He has made everyone unhappy in there.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's like he picks the star, and then he's like, you.
Does that?
And then everything
Just
is
like
like,
he's himself.
yeah, and now it
Innocence.
crumbles. It's like, there's no need to do that, bruh. You just.
What was the case at Real Madrid? Do you guys remember clearly?
Yeah. He clashed with the entire dressing room when he said his only friend there is Fabio Contrao. Everybody else is against him.
Yeah. I think it was also the way that he
Same.
fucked up the Spain shit. Because remember, there was at
Yeah.
that same time, like, Spain was kind of divided.
Yeah, between
then-
the Madrid players and the
Yeah,
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
It's hectic. It's bad now, but it was way worse
Yo,
then.
then
Dude, my man was every game there were fights,
Yeah.
and my man would walk in and poke a man in the eye. R.I.P. to that man, but that was hilarious.
And then he alienated those Spanish players, also
Yeah.
the ones who were, Ramos and Casillas, I think it was the two biggest ones.
You see, Ramos was even threatening to leave
Yeah.
if they just got Mourinho. It's because it's difficult to go back. But these guys did it, so shout out to them.
Success, he did not fail.
um,
He has a home here.
he succeeded, but he did also fail in the last season when he got.
I wouldn't say failure, dog.
No, it was just a rough season.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, but then that's failure, isn't it?
No,
It
dog,
has to
it's-
count.
It has to count as
Okay,
failure. Being in the
but-
relegation zone has to
It's-
count as failure for the team that just won
Look, man,
the Premier League.
I just think, okay, it was rough, aware, but I wouldn't say it's failure for me because I end up not. Failure does not mean you hate or you like the guy. Right?
Okay, wait.
But look, nah, Mourinho did not fail in my eyes.
I just want us to close on something.
Wait, before we close, nah,
Okay.
can I ask, what do you guys think this means for the senior players like Vertonghen, Toby,
I think the senior
and
players,
Eriksen, especially Eriksen?
they're leaving. I don't think any of them stay.
You don't think
And by
Eriksen's gonna
any of
stay?
them, I mean the ones whose contracts are already running out. Eriksen,
Who's Eriksen,
Alderweireld,
Vertonghen.
Vertonghen.
I think one of them stays. I think Alderweireld stays.
I think Eriksen stays.
You think Eriksen stays?
Yeah.
I think that all stay.
I think if Eriksen
Yeah,
stays,
I'm
it's because
saying
he
he
can't
stays.
leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I think that nobody's going to be in for him like that. Nobody that he wants. I don't know if United's going to be in for him. Maybe it'll be PSG,
Honestly.
maybe Madrid. I don't know.
No, it's not going to be a
It's
free.
going to be.
Because
It's gonna
people
be
are going
yes.
to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's gonna stay, but on like 3-year contracts, 2-year contracts. So no one's gonna sign a new 7-year deal. I mean, none of the guys who are like Danny Rose, Eriksson, those guys. I think Mourinho's gonna go 1-year extension, whatever, and just to get them because those are the important players when Mourinho gets to a club.
I think I'll let Vertonghen go.
I think especially Eriksen is important because the squad is based on Mourinho people, if I may put it like that. There's those strong guys there, tall, big striker that likes doing things, the creative guy who's going to give a lot of freedom. Because
Ibrahimovic.
he sets up defensively, gives that guy freedom and the strike.
Yeah.
And there's no other guy who
But
does
isn't-
that besides Eriksen. And
So that guy, because that guy for you is Hazard, right? But Son is so much.
Yeah.
So Son is a lot closer to that than Eriksson.
That's true, but who's pulling the strings? In a Mourinho team, I'm saying like
Yeah, no, he is important.
I'm saying
He's the Fabregas.
who Eriksen. Yeah,
No, Son.
Eriksen.
Not as good as Fabregas.
Not as good as Fabregas, but he's that guy. Look, Eriksen is the Ozil, Deco, Fabregas of the team.
Okay.
You understand? In those Mourinho squads.
I don't know about
Schneider.
Deco. I don't know about Deco.
Okay, but like that creative
He's
guy
that guy.
is-
The most comparable to
Yeah.
that guy.
Because he doesn't work hard enough.
He doesn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
Can I make a second prediction? I think
Don't
Ndombele
forget. you
fails.
said you need to-
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah,
ask.
sorry, I think Ndombele fails under Mourinho.
Whoa. I was going to say to close it off. Do you think Mourinho is going to succeed in his time at Tottenham?
Yes. Champions League first season.
Champions League winner.
Relegation zone failure. He's going to succeed. Man.
What is succeed? He said Champions League.
I think they'll do something in the Champions League. They'll do something.
Will he win the
They
trophy?
will make the top 4 very interesting. They'll definitely do that. I don't know what they'll do, but they'll definitely make the top four interesting. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
I feel like he's gonna do average.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever happens, I'm gonna be happy if he succeeds. While Mourinho's great if he fails.
Yeah.
This is funny. Tottenham are flopping. Mourinho's even Mourinho can't save Tottenham. If he so, I feel like he might win like a Carabao Cup and get to Champions League semi-final.
I also think he might win a cup, but not the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to win the league.
Yeah.
Just winning anything. Not you.
This man gave no answer.
Not you.
No, I'm saying you do
I think
something.
you said
It's yours, it's
something
your
doesn't
thing.
count.
And then
But
he'll
I'm
make the
saying-
top four interesting.
He will win a domestic
bro,
cup.
You won't finish above them.
I would say most likely to win the EFL Cup,
Finishing above you.
then the FA Cup, but nothing else.
I'm not the bar. Yeah,
You're not.
Audi Cup next preseason.
maybe if Mourinho
He can also
fails,
win the Club World Cup. That's one.
if Mourinho does fail, this is probably an end of something. Ronaldo, Messi, Angelotti in decline, Mourinho in
Mourinho
decline,
gone.
end of an era, fam.
Ferguson and Wenger retired. Wenger. Yeah, it's all just.
Anyway,
Yeah, but since everything is, we shall.
Oli on the come up. Lampard on the come up.
Peace.
Out.
So,
Ancelotti's not in decline. Ancelotti had this